This 5-step AI adoption blueprint saves our clients millions of dollars, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do it step by step for absolutely free. My name is Mac. I own an AI transformation company. We go into businesses every single day and figure out how they can adopt AI to both save them buttloads of money and make their quality significantly better. In this video, I'm going to show you what we do for pretty much every single one of our clients, so that you can do it yourself in your own business. While everyone else is copying from ChatGPT, we're building entire AI departments, and I'm gonna show you exactly how you can do that yourself. So, step number 1. Now, I'm gonna give you a real example from a real business that we work with. This business thought that a simple 6-step SOP. In reality, they had a 47-step absolute nightmare that no employees knew how to follow. The purpose of this step is to basically outline what all of your processes are. And the reason why we want to do this is because we need to eventually hand this over to a third party and AI. And if you don't know what your own internal processes are, how the heck are you going to explain it to an AI? So that's step number 1. Now, you'd be surprised how many businesses don't actually do this. I can almost guarantee you, if you do this before you adopt AI, you will save hundreds, if not thousands of hours and tens of thousands of dollars. This step is probably the most important, and everyone sort of misses it. What is an example of documentation? Basically, it's just a document you can put in a Google Doc, Word doc, whatever. All you want to do is outline exactly how to do everything, so a 5-year-old can understand how to do it and a 95-year-old can understand how to do it. Just an example, you want to list everything. So I've just written down here like jargon, log into email, log into CRM, check customer in CRM, and then et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Just simply outlining the 40-odd steps to do a task like this makes adopting AI 100 times easier. Every login should be documented, every decision, every simple copy and paste. These are all steps your AI will eventually need to know about. Main takeaway from this bit is if you can't document it, you won't be able to automate it. Step number 2 is audits. What I mean by audits is time audits. So when you have a business and you have hundreds of employees, all those employees spend 8 hours a day doing something. When you own a business, you're paying for people's time. Let's say, for argument's sake, you have 100 employees and each employee works 8 hours a day. That means you've got 800 hours a day of stuff being done. What we want to do is be able to list and order where everyone's time is going. And you don't have to audit literally everyone in the company, but the key departments. As an example, we try and get all of our clients to do this, and we can give them a template and they ask their department heads basically where their time is going. So as an example, we've got Bob here. Bob spends hour 1 of the day getting CRM data. He then spends hour 2 of the day reading emails, and he might spend hour 3 replying to those emails, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then we've got another employee doing whatever throughout the day. We want to be able to list exactly where everyone's time is going so we can reverse that and see what tasks are taking the most amount of hours to actually do. And as you can imagine, this is where we're going to start our AI adoption, because time is money, as everyone knows. So if we can replace their time with AI agents, then we save a lot of money. And you might be asking, Mac, what about these employees that have all their time automated, or AI agents are doing all the tasks that they would normally do? It's not about just removing these employees, but you can reallocate them to other departments so that the things that they are doing is more orchestration-based tasks as opposed to robotic tasks. So just as a additional little brownie points, if you're doing this yourself in real time, you want to be listing mistakes as well. Mistakes. Errors in businesses cost money. So if we can outline, let's say there is a specific SOP that a lot of people screw up and as a result takes time to redo or costs money as a direct result of making a certain mistake, we want to be listing that down. We want to be listing any delays, And then any overtime as well. So if there's a task that takes ages to do and you've got to pay an additional amount or hourly amount to complete the task, then we want to be listing that down as well. So once you've calculated sort of all of this, plus the actual audit, you'll have a really, really good picture of where everyone's time in the business is actually going. We've audited like over 50 processes almost per client that we work with. They're burning like literally millions of dollars every single year on all this stuff. And when I say burning, I mean people are spending crap loads of time like literally doing nothing or doing tasks that an AI agent should be doing instead. And I can almost guarantee you that in your own business, you're going to have some sort of similar issue. So step number 3 is architecture. Now, I'm going to be very, very real here. Most businesses are just using some sort of tool. So this could be like ChatGPT, this could be an external software, this could be Claude. This isn't actually that bad. If we think about it like a video game, let's say this is our total SOP. So this might actually just be like a series of steps that we need to do to get to the finish. Using a tool in almost every case gets you some sort of percentage there. So maybe ChatGPT gets you, to, what's that, 1/3 of the way there, 33%. And if you're using ChatGPT by itself, that's really good. That means you're saving, 1/3 of your time doing using ChatGPT instead of like obviously, manually writing a report, for example. You can just use ChatGPT and then copy that report into a Google Doc. However, what the big businesses are doing and the businesses that are growing really, really fast and lean is that we can use AI employees and a series of AI agents to do 100% of this workflow, not just 33% using ChatGPT. And, a lot of business owners are just sort of discovering ChatGPT or Claude or these chatbots to write some information which might only be semi-correct. We can use these AI employees to say, could be to paste on a Google Doc and then an AI employee might not only just write the report, it then pastes it on a Google document, labels it correctly and saves it to a Google Drive, and then sends it as an email to said person completely autonomously, not just write the report, then you have to go manually copy paste it, send it, do whatever you need to do to it. That's where it's worth architecting. Now, not all things will be possible. So for example, calling someone and asking for information probably isn't possible. This is the point where we can sort of modify our SOP slightly so we can make it more AI friendly. Just a rule of thumb, we don't want to be using voice agents. So we don't want to be using voice agents in a business yet. Voice agents aren't good enough. So anything that involves calling people, I wouldn't recommend doing. On top of that, anything that involves sort of finances, regulatory or restrictions, regulation restrictions, I would keep as a human. So just write that down. Finances. Reg issues. So finances might be like paying an invoice or moving money between an account. And then regulation issues might be saving, let's say, medical data or saving law data or whatever it is, where there's very clear and obvious financial restrictions in place. We want to be modifying our SOPs and sort of understanding our SOPs of how do we do as much of our SOPs without doing these. So these are bad. Using ChatGPT, we might get 1/3 through the way. Using an AI employee, we might be able to get 90% of the way, if not 100. And this is what we try and do here in my company. And if you're building out custom solutions, you want to be getting 90 to 100%. So the sort of key takeaway is try and craft your SOPs and try and modify your SOPs and start architecting a AI solution that will get you 90 to 100% of the way there, not just 33. Development. This bit is the scariest. So I'm going to try and provide as much value as possible just in this video to show you how you can develop AI solutions in your business that will save money without costing you an absolute arm and a leg. So option one is to use Claude / ChatGPT. This is sort of like step one that most business owners are just learning now. So we can sort of write long pieces of information and understand a large amount of information within a chatbot. We can use this by itself inside of an SOP, as mentioned in the previous step, to save, 30% of time, 20% of time pretty easily. MCPs. Now, I'm not going to go into depth about what an MCP is because that could be its own long ass video, but if you're using Claude and ChatGPT, you might be able to adopt MCPs into your existing tech stack. In fact, Claude has their built-in feature to use MCPs. That would be stage number 2. These alone save about 20% of time. And that's just according to the clients that we work with within your own business. Maybe it's more, maybe it's less. This is a good step because it's really cheap. It might cost you $100 a month per user, and it gets you 20% of the way there. The next step after that is using out-of-the-box AI softwares. So this might be like Read AI. This might be Superhuman. This here might get you another 10%. Pretty conservatively. So all you want to be doing here is researching possible AI solutions. We can use Gemini or Google Gemini to do that research for us. But we basically want to go, what is the main constraints within our business? Let's say it's replying to emails or understanding emails. We can then use, Superhuman, for example, as an out-of-the-box solution to do those tasks a lot more efficiently. This will increase our time saved a little bit. On top of that, again, you're not paying an arm and a leg, you're paying whatever the software subscription cost is. Another example is, let's say, transcribing and marking sales calls. We can use Read AI to do that pretty much out of the box, and that saves us time. The next step of development after that is where sort of we come in and any sort of AI developers come in as well, and we can use N8N or relevance. We can use these sort of more custom solutions to build your own AI workflows and AI employees within your business that are designed specifically for your business. This is the most expensive part by far, but this is also where you can save the most amount of time. Doing these can save easily 90% of time for certain SOPs. However, this is when it costs tens of thousands of dollars to make, because basically what we have to do is go do this entire thing for you, for any business or you watching, in real time. This is the custom solutions that we do as a company for other people, and tons of other developers also do for other companies. We can use tools like N8N, Relevance, or even coding tools like Cursor to build out custom solutions for businesses that save 90% of time. And these solutions are designed specifically for their SOPs and specifically for their users or / employees and their business. This is where you can be saving literally millions of dollars. It's very, very common that you do save millions of dollars over a year. Pretty much every client we work with saves a minimum of that. I'm not going to go into exactly how you can design these workflows, but I'm going to have probably other videos in the future of, designing these custom solutions using these tools. But the I hope that makes sense for development. There are multiple stages to this. So if you don't want to spend, tens of thousands of dollars, and you're a new business, you can do these. Just use Claude, ChatGPT, and adopt that into your SOPs. You can use custom out-of-the-box AI solutions, put those in your SOPs beforehand, which will save a little bit of time and money. Just as a cost comparison as well, generally this kind of solution replaces literally entire departments. So you're looking at millions of dollars a month worth of employees, which just get saved overnight. Step number 5 is deployment. When you come up with these AI solutions, you have to obviously put them into your business. This has a lot of friction. We've done it before for, a ton of businesses. When you do it yourself for the first time, you will find a lot of friction. We've systemized our processes to remove as much friction as possible. And that's sort of what I want to go over in this video so that you can not make the same mistakes that we did back in the day. So first thing is, when should you use humans as a QA versus when to use AI as a QA? QA stands for quality assurance. This is basically making sure that the output of said workflow is correct. In a really robust business, generally the managers act as a QA for most of the part, and for very important systems, a human will be a QA regardless if you have AI there or not. So we want to sort of adopt a similar strategy. The rule of thumb is, if the piece of work that is being produced goes to a human or goes to an external platform, generally you want a human to QA it. So for example, if you're, let's say, a B2B email agency and you want to be creating emails using AI or writing email copy using AI, you want a human to QA it before it goes to that client. Or let's say you're enforcing safety standards on a workspace. Before you write the report, you obviously want to QA it with a human before you send it to the customer. Same principle applies here. You want a human to QA it before it goes externally. We can build in AI quality assurers into the workflows, which I highly recommend doing regardless, to get 90% or assure 90% of the quality, and then maybe there's like a weird edge case that sort of makes its way through that will get caught by the human. Doing this system will reduce basically any mistakes, and in fact this system alone will reduce your mistakes by magnitudes. Edge cases. What is an edge case? An edge case is a output that we didn't calculate when we were designing the process. So for example, maybe we have SOPs on certain, let's go back to this email analogy. We have a email template for every industry. An edge case would be an industry comes in that we don't have an email template for. Now you might be going, well, how's the AI going to know what to do? We can build some, edge case proof systems into the AI employee that basically says, if anything else happens, do X, Y, Z. Now, these edge cases should be getting caught by the quality assurers, whether it's the AI ones or not. Worst case scenario, if it gets caught by the human, you are able to account for most edge cases with really robust architecture. If you are doing this yourself, what you can do is put your SOP through Claude or through a chatbot or something similar and ask it to list any possible edge cases. ChatGPT is actually really, really good at doing this and running these kinds of scenarios. Sometimes they're going to be a bit ridiculous, but for the most part, it should suggest reasonable things. The last sort of main friction point in your deployment process will be showing employees how to use the new systems. This comes with simple training. If you're using an AI transformation partner like ourselves or anyone else, they should be giving you like a loom on exactly how to use it or some sort of tutorial / guide on how to use it. It's usually the responsibility of the department manager to roll this out because they know their employees the best. If they're very technical oriented, obviously there's going to be a lot less friction. If they are not technical oriented, there's going to be a lot more friction. Generally, it's on the company to roll this out, not the AI provider. The best way to do this is simply just doing a guide and changing your SOPs slightly. or the human SOPs slightly. Those are the main sort of issues to look for deployment. If you do these incorrectly, you're going to be left with an absolute mess. Adopting AI like this can actually lose you tens of thousands of dollars really, really quick. Do not do this. If you account for these deployment mistakes, it'll be on the flip side, it will save you tens of thousands of dollars and be almost frictionless. The last bit of this video is an example. Now, I'm going to try to remember to put screenshots and whatnot of these exact processes, but this will be for a B2B email marketing company. I'm going to show you some of the financial results of these systems. So in month 1, saved $46,000. Well, 2. Okay, I've just copied some data from an existing client we've got. They are a B2B marketing company here in Australia. They've been with us for about 4 months now. I'm going to go through each month and put screenshots, sort of like what we did and how we saved them this money. So month 1 was the initial month. This month, well, basically in this build, or the prior 2 months, which is how long the build took, we went through and saved and automated their reporting, automated some comms, and automated some of their operations. This saved them about $46,000 in that month worth of staff fees and time. Month number 2 was about the same. The reason why this did not change, I believe, was because we spent a lot of time optimizing this, so it's a lot more robust and a lot more accurate, and we spent a lot of time creating guides and tutorials for their internal adoption. Month number 3 was when things increased slightly, so increasing the accuracy and output and quality assurance, or AI quality assurance, basically reduced the amount of hours it took to quality assure the output. In the end, it almost became completely autonomous. Not only that, it increased their account management capacity by 2. And then this current month, which is the month we're in now, we've saved about $56,000 worth of staff's time, and then increased their account management capacity by 6. If you are a B2B company, you know what this means. This means basically a lot more profit, because we can increase our revenue without increasing our expenses really, really easily when we're able to increase our client capacity. And these calculations here are net. These aren't total. So I believe the first one was about a $52,000 saved. They spent, I think, $6,000 a month on us. And as a result, they're able to save the $46,000. So yeah, that is what a real client looks like. I believe their annual turnover is between 4.5 to 5 mil. I hope this video helped anyone sort of understand how to adopt AI into their business. I hope this blueprint sort of worked. Again, this is like a very simple, dumbed down version of it. If you have any questions, just leave a comment. I'll try to reply to everyone. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.